Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review. This time reviewing episode 68. Goku decides after who knows how long, he's finally going to use the Dragon Balls to bring Kaiosama back to life. He takes the Dragon Radar from Bulma and starts collecting them, but as he gets them all and summons Shenlong, everyone else suddenly shows up, saying they all really need wishes granted, even if they are a little bit more selfish than Goku's. They all decide to use the first wish to heal Pan of a fever, but then they argue that Goku doesn't need the second wish, given that Kaio being alive doesn't actually change much at all. Bulma tries to get Goku to retrieve some material for making another time machine first, only for Beerus and Whis to realize this and to destroy her progress. And after all of those mishaps, Shenlong can no longer stay summoned for much longer and disappears without Goku getting his wish. So, what did I like about this episode? Well, first of all, the concept of it was pretty interesting. Like, the idea that the thing that you kind of always kind of think about this sort of world of Dragon Ball, which you never really got to see until now, but the idea that you kind of literally have a magical wish-granting dragon with the Dragon Radar basically on command. So, if you basically just go around and summon your dragon all the time, surely people, a lot of these cast and a lot of these characters are probably going to be like, well, you know, I want to wish for whatever I want, like something really stupid or something selfish or just something that's just been mulling over in my head for the last few days. Why don't I just ask the dragon to fulfill my request? So the idea is everyone's just doing this for really selfish and kind of stupid reasons. But then, like, the moment that something actually, like, selfless shows up, whereas, like, Gohan's like, Pan has got a fever and the medicine isn't working, why don't we use Shenlong for that? Everyone's just like, okay, actually, I'm sorry, let's actually use this for a good reason, okay, guys? It's nice because, like, everyone's acting selfishly, but then, like, the moment something shows up, they're like, well, okay, we're not that selfish, that we're gonna take something actually legitimately good away from someone else, so that was nice. There was a lot of fun fan service moments. Like, this episode had a lot of the usual Dragon Ball Super slice of life characters who always show up. You know, people like Goku, Beerus and Whis, Bulma, the Pilaf gang. But then we had a whole bunch of other minor characters showing up. You know, people like Android 18, like, that was cool. And it was like she was there because she wanted to give something to Krillin, and she didn't know what Krillin wanted, and she wanted Shenlong to sort of figure that out for her. And it was a very sweet moment, especially when Bulma is being like, well, all Krillin really wants is probably just to be with you. And it's like, oh, that was just such a sweet thing that they put in. I really liked that. Like, they could have played up the selfishness a bit more. Like, they could have made it that 18 just wanted a lot of money or something. But no, they decided to make it that 18 wanted to do something to show that she cared about her husband. And it's like, oh man, it's so nice to see actual seemingly functional relationships in this series, despite how messed up everyone is as characters and as people. As for what I didn't like about this episode, well, like, the big kind of punchline, the whole thing that, like, the entire episode was leading towards is the idea that now, apparently, at least according to this episode, Shenlong kind of has the time limit. If you summon him and then you don't use him for a certain number of times, he just can't stay out there for so long, so he's just gonna kind of, like, just go away, fade away, and then the Dragon Ball's going to get inactive again. And it's just like, that's something that the series has never really ever said before. Like, I'm not going to say it's inconsistent, because, I mean, the implication is, like, the stuff in this episode, the events of this episode, could have basically taken, like, an hour, maybe longer, like a very long time, much longer than we've ever seen Shenlong be summoned for. So I'm not going to say there's like a logical issue there. It's just a bit strange to me that it's like, this is like the big punchline that they're going to do that's going to stop Goku from getting his wish is to basically just introduce an entirely new plot concept that we don't necessarily know is going to be important later on. Like, on the one hand, I think I like this punchline better than just like, oh, one of the characters just randomly, like, ran in front of them and then said their wish really quickly, and then Shenlong did that one instead, because, like, that's a plot device that's already been used a lot in this story, and I mean, the episode itself already lampshaded that idea and tried to not make that happen. But on the other hand, it's like, you'd think they could have come up with a better way to having Goku not getting his wish that wasn't just like them literally giving a completely new rule to Shenlong that we had never seen before. It just feels like a plot device made entirely for this episode and not something that, like, makes complete logical sense that you totally just like, oh yeah, no, I could buy that. Like, you have to think about it for a bit. And I don't know if that's really the best idea. So as for next episode, Dr. Slump crossover. Like, full-on Dr. Slump crossover. If you don't know what Dr. Slump is, it was another manga and an anime written by Akira Toriyama. Arale and all the other characters from Dr. Slump showed up for around like 2 or 3 chapters in Dragon Ball, and also a few episodes of Dragon Ball as well, the Red Ribbon Army section. So technically, the Dr. Slump universe does also appear in the Dragon Ball universe, so there's a crossover. I've only really read about like 2 volumes of Dr. Slump, so I don't feel like I know absolutely everything. So if they're going to be like minor, really like very minor references all the time, I'm not sure if I'm going to get them all. But honestly, the thing I'm kind of interested in seeing is like whether or not they're going to bother explaining who Arale is and what Arale is and all of the Dr. Slump characters. Because the fact is, like, I wonder if Toei is aware now that their stuff is being simulcasted and this is going to be a thing sent to the international audience because, outside of Japan, I wonder how many people know what Dr. Slump is and are actually going to understand anything in this episode. I know a lot of English-speaking audiences probably don't know anything about Dr. Slump at all, and that's okay. They shouldn't have to go around and try and, search a whole bunch of supplementary material just to work out what's going on in this random slice of life episode, but either way it'll be interesting. Either way, it sounds like a lot of fun, so I'm down for it. I'm down for it. So that was Dragon Ball Super episode 68. It was basically just a fun but ultimately inoffensive slice of life sort of filler episode. I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't necessarily bad because there wasn't that much character exaggeration, which was the real issue for me that makes a slice of life episode bad. No one really felt like they were being really flanderized for the sake of comedy. Everyone felt a little bit more realistic, and I liked that. And not to mention that the episode wasn't even really completely pointless. There was sort of a reason to the episode, and that was kind of just a way of sort of just shutting down the idea that Bulma is going to make another time machine later on. So it might not have been the most interesting slice of life episode. It didn't really break any new ground, but at the very least it didn't really do anything wrong either, and it wasn't really offensive, and it was kind of, sort of, at least a little bit important. So it ticks the boxes of the bare minimum of what I expect and what I want from a slice of life episode. So I'd say, I guess, overall I did enjoy it then. We've still got 2 more weeks of sort of slice of life episodes before we start getting to what seems to be a new arc, although there's no real indication as to whether this arc is actually going to be a really, really, really long one or just kind of mini arc is a transition period, sort of like that 3-episode mini arc with the superhuman water thing and copy Vegeta. So I'm not exactly sure. We don't really know what the future of Super is right now, although we are going to find out in December, I think. But at this point, we've got a whole bunch of slice of life episodes. Nothing really big to expect from them, but they're going to be fun, I hope. This episode was fun. Next episode seems like way more fun. The episode after that seems like also a lot of fun. So I guess a lot of fun for the next few weeks while we try and work out exactly what Super is going to do now. So this is Gabby, signing out, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys!